Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to my video. Today we will talk about mercenaries, how to get them, and what kind of, stats and abilities they have. So let's get into it. The first one, we got Subo Skills. You can see it on the map. First encircled, you gotta find him in Toxic Fence. And I gotta fast forward here because I was blind, didn't see him. He's right next here, as you can see. Right next to the, the bridge and whatnot. So you gotta wait for him to, I guess, shoot something, a ghost, I guess, or he was trying to shoot the horse. But so you will grab his quest over here. He will send you on the next step into this little dungeon, if you will, or cellar. So you gotta find him in his dungeon because he kind of ran away. You will find him here trying to rescue someone, and while he does that, you gotta defend him. There's a little event trigger, some elites as well. Not bad early on for some loot and whatnot. Now I will also have other builds and videos, mainly built for Spiritborn, both leveling and endgame builds, so you can keep an eye on that. And I'll also have other guides for like Dark Citadel, Undercity, all the new content. I will get the on these how to farm Raheir for these mercenaries to get their skills as fast as possible, or even the rewards they offer, like the item packs and something called Pale Marks, which you can buy some free items for with that. So that's some pretty cool stuff. Forget to pop a potion here for the XP. But this is the first part of the quest. I believe we will have there's some conversation with him, and he will send us to a different location now. See it on the map right next to it, basically in Havazar. Fast forward here a little bit. Talk to him, get into another dungeon, disrupt bandits' plans. This will be the last step, I believe. Gotta go through the dungeon. Always go in the upper right or left way, I would say. That's the best what I found. He'll go into this open area, kind of looks like Trail Whispers, and then you will enter this little event again, a little ritual that you will disrupt and break. Don't want to show all of it, so you guys don't get spoiled, but it will summon a big bad boss. It was pretty easy to kill. Honestly, I was just rolling this in normal difficulty because the hard was not worth at all. It was way overtuned on the server we were playing on the version. This version was one patch behind actual release, so it had some different stuff. And tomorrow, from this video being recorded, we have dev stream, so they will talk about some more stuff. We'll see what's different. Might be only adjustments to classes, but go back to Subo here, and you will find him back in the den, where are other mercenaries as well. Next up, we got Aldkin. This is the demon child. You'd see it on the map as well. He's actually in the Hantu. He's in this little dungeon, covered passage. He will send you here, and this one is pretty short. Wasn't too long. I think this one was the shortest, but there he is right here. Trigger little event. You will basically chase him around because he's scared of his power. He's afraid. I think he actually even hurt someone. Don't wanna, I'm not sure if I should put spoiler in the title of the video. But you gotta pick up the ragged toy. This is for him. It's kind of feeling sad for this little fella. Go outside. You gotta find him or follow him actually into this area. I find new area being pretty dense with elites. I kind of like that, and enemies as well. I really like the density. It feels more than others, and you will also find a lot of goblins on the way. I think they increased the spawn of goblins, which feels great because they have some good loot. They definitely increased the loot and rewards for killing them. So here you go, following him again. I believe we will enter another dungeon. Go into the middle here. We got to take a look at the drawing. And after this, we go into this dungeon. I think this should be the second part and the last one. Break through the wall, interact with these objects here, and you will spawn demons. They will basically ambush you. The hunter, I think they're after the cursed child. And I'm not gonna show you all of this. You guys can, a little spoiler action and whatnot. So once you get through this, I believe this was the end. You'll just talk to him, or okay, never mind. He'll meet you in the den basically. And once you get back, he will just, wait for you there. It's right here.
Of course you can.
So that's pretty cool. Next up, we got the Berserker Mercenary, Varyana. I'm not gonna show her here because we are not supposed to see anything with main story campaign. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm gonna show you these 3 mercs, and then I'll show you the stats, the skills they have. So in order to unlock the quest for Berserker, Varyana, you need to clear this Temple of Wrath Stronghold. So this is just a boss skill real quick. I got nice level, pretty good XP. The XP from Stronghold is actually pretty crazy. So unlock the Stronghold in here. And by the way, Stronghold gives you more XP pre-level 60 or pre-level 50 even. So I recommend doing these before you get to that point. So here's a little interaction you gotta start this with. It's gotta read that the blood scribe, you know, signet whatnot, the sign, and then go down here. I think this was the longest quest out of all mercs. This footage is actually like 14-15 minutes. The cursed child was like 6 or something. So you gotta enter here. She's actually being trapped by these guys, these disgusting guys. So she will go berserk on you because she's just, you know, she's kind of crazy, to be honest. You will see for yourself. She will yield here though. She'll acknowledge you. Then you gotta go out, talk to her, and you're basically on a hunt after these cannibals that captured her as a revenge. So go on the marked location. We will enter some dungeon, feast hall actually. Clear this guy, Grelkar the Craven, the cannibal, and his cannibals. She's doing a little ritual, but that's what their tribe or their people do. Not gonna really show you too much because it's pretty brutal and gore. But anyways, once we are done here, talk to her outside. And I believe the last step here is to find the leader, which will be another, it's like, oh, you gotta sail on the boat somewhere away. It's pretty cool. You will actually go to Gulran Canals, well, outside, or in the dungeon itself, almost. It's pretty cool how it kind of like connects to other dungeons you know from Nightmare Sigils and whatnot. It's pretty cool. So you go through the dungeon until you know, get in front of the boss room. You will talk to Varyana, destroy the gate. Now, in this arena, there are only 2 hostiles in the middle. There's like gladiators fighting, and if you kill these before interacting with the boss in the back, because you will talk to him, it bugged out and you were unable to complete this. So I recommend not killing these. Luckily, I didn't. Like, that guy was actually 1 hit away, right? So he's actually cheering because he thinks he won. But you're gonna talk to him. Obviously, he's gonna go mad because he wants Varyana just captured and killed. So I just gotta clear these cannibals, kill Zolmok as well. He basically activates triggers after we kill the rest of them. Kill him, talk to Varyana, and that's basically it. You will just unlock her, she will wait for you at the den. Boom, level up. They're laughing and coughing, dude. This merc is crazy. Yeah, once you arrive here, you'll see it here. But anyways, I'll take you in the game, and I'll show you what kind of skills they have. So first things, we got Subo, the rogue, the bounty hunter. We got various skills. Once again, I have a video how to like utilize. You just basically take Subo out in the open world, and you will be able to see all the mobs on the minimap and mainly resources. That's very good for farming. I believe you will be behind, or the bottleneck for rawhide and iron chunks will continue from season 5. So this will be pretty good. And this will also, killing enemy, it will restore you max resource by 50% and reduce the cooldown of Seeker by 10 seconds. It is pretty cool. This for speed farm will be pretty damn cool for some of the builds. First skill, we get Wire Trap. This one explodes for physical and stuns the enemies. Heavy Shot pierces through the enemies. Nothing too crazy. Direct damage to elite gives you movement speed. So for speedruns, this will be a great option, I would say. Cover Fire, just extra damage, but mainly applies a slow on the target. Pincushion, Cover Fire immobilizes enemies as well for 2 seconds to pin down just CC. Not sure if this will work in PvP, but you deal increased crit damage to enemies hit by Cover Fire from Subo. So this is pretty interesting. I think this will be utilized pretty well for some of the builds using crit damage, like Dart Barb, Bleed Barb. Trip Mines is the other one. This one knocks down enemies for some seconds. This will be good for, once again, Barb, like Double Swing for free casts, since you guys see me on the Barb. Or honestly, even for Spiritborn. Spiritborn has a passive where it deals more damage to knock down enemies, so it's pretty cool. Inflicts vulnerable for 5 seconds, also very good. 18-second cooldown. I find these cooldowns quite long. Well, we'll see. Subo gets CC duration, not bad either. Extra size, could be good for AoE. And their ability is Molotov. I kind of like this one. This is a burn dot on the target. You will You will deal more damage over time on the target, 3 seconds. I think I will use this on... This is great for Thorn's Barb. Or I would say maybe even, well, once again, Spiritborn on Thorns. I'm not sure if it would scale for Spiritborn because Spiritborn works a bit differently, which I also have a video about, deep dive on Thorns Spiritborn, which is a pretty long video, but I had to do it. When one of the Molotovs explodes, has a chance to drop healing potion. Rogues have quite a lot of interactions with the healing potion, so I can see that usable on them. Explosive charge, extra damage, and if you overpowers for overpower build this ability, it detonates earlier. Next up, we got increased overpower damage per charge stuck on the target by 2%. Nothing too crazy. This is like 4 charges. So 8% damage increase overpower. I don't know. It can be detonated by additional 2 overpowers before expiring. So it could be interesting. Active cooldowns. I was a big fan of the Thrill Seeker. The active cooldown reduction is pretty good. I really like that. Detonates after only 3 seconds, down from 7. And the other upgrade is Snipe. This is knocking down enemies again for some damage, and it will also throw Molotov, exploding on them, which is pretty cool, like 2 skills in one. Not too bad, right? Not too bad for that builds once again. Another one is Ambusher, like it increase against enemies damaged by Subo's Salvo within the last 3 seconds. So, Salvo? By Subo's Salvo within the last 3 seconds. I have no clue what Salvo is. Maybe Snipe? I think it's Snipe. Basic attack salvo. Oh, is this auto attack? There we go, from the Molotov, you see? Basic attack salvo. There we go. That's pretty cool. Not too bad. For the rogues and Zorgs, even necromancers for lucky hit. It's pretty cool. So this was Subo. Next up, we got Aldkin. We were gonna do it, you know, just like on the video. So Aldkin is the mage type of mercenary. So first up, we got Blasphemous Fate. This one will make him go crazy according to the elements you're gonna pick. So either dark, aka shadow, or fire. So the dark here, the shadow, you and nearby enemies become vulnerable. It's always at the cost of something, right? Because he goes crazy. And if you go with fire, your direct damage burns enemies. It puts a dot on the target, but you lose max resource per second 10%, which is insane. So, I don't know, for 3 seconds, I believe this lasts, oh, for 22 seconds. That's pretty crazy. I'm not sure what the cooldown is on this perk though, how often he goes crazy. So we got the shadow version of it, Haunt. Shadow dot, if target dies, it will spread, you know, around, so pretty good for AoE. Haunt also a chance to inflict vulnerable on enemies for 4 seconds, only 30%, nothing that crazy. Has a chance to daze enemies, 5%, I mean, shadow damage, so I guess every tick of the dot has a chance, but 5%. I don't know, man. Slowing enemies and reducing their damage dealt, this is a good ability for 6 seconds. This is similar to Decrepify from Necromancer, the curse. So this is like every 14 seconds you will get this bad boy for 6. Well, not too bad. Not too bad. Enemies take increased damage from you by 15%. Very good actually. I kind of, again, 20 seconds cooldown though. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it against languishing enemies have up to chance to daze them. Instantly kill languishing enemies with less than 40% life. This is actually pretty crazy. Doesn't work on elites. That makes sense. So it's pretty good. This will be insane for Pit, honestly. Next we got Chain of Souls. This will just tether them and do shadow damage every time. And it will stun the targets for 2.5 seconds when the chains expire. It will also detonate some extra damage around them, so for AoE. And also cooldown reduced by 2 seconds when a chained target dies. So this could be pretty good for like speed farm and whatnot, I would say. Flame Surge is the fire side here. Just, you know, repeatedly fire damage in the cone. Covered in ash, slows enemies and deals additional burn damage. Allies gain crit chance against enemies affected by Flame Surge. This is actually pretty good. And this is only 11-second cooldown for 4 seconds. Wow, so every 7 seconds you can get this bad boy. That's pretty good. 50% crit chance, that's actually very good. Wave of Flame is another upgrade, knocking enemies back and destroying small missiles. Knocking enemies back only for a ranged build, for a melee build, I don't know. Well, it depends on the content, but you do not want knockback in Pit. You need to group mobs together. This is the opposite. Enemy damage by Wave of Flame take increased dot from you for 4 seconds by 15%. Not bad. Similar to Subo's skill. Cooldown resets when you cast an ultimate skill. Ooh, okay. This could be great for Spiritborn with Seeker ultimate because Seeker has charges and you can get up to 15 charges on ultimate on that skill. So this is pretty crazy. Storm of Fire. Every second burns enemies, and enemies above 4 impact aftershocks have a chance to get stunned for 1 second. Restore primary resource per second while inside the firestorm. This is actually very good. If this wasn't 20 seconds, it should be for 10 seconds though, right? Yeah, it should be for, so every 10 seconds, that's actually very good. That's not bad. Restoring primary resource, that's very good actually, nice. Enemy skill with the storm, explode for heavy fire damage, could be good for Sork. Or I guess build that scale from, I'm not really sure how mercenaries scale from your stats, or if they even do. So I'm not sure because you cannot put items on them. So that's kind of, you know, we need to take a look into that. Next up, we got Varyana, the Berserker Crone. So she's got Massacre. You and her will stack Massacre on kills, giving you movement speed. Not too bad. Resets after 7 killing of not killing enemy. Cleave, this is physical. Dot, this is bleed. It gives you attack speed for 5 seconds whenever she damages an enemy, up to 10%. Or she inflicts vulnerable for 3 seconds. This is not a bad skill. Now Bloodthirst buffs her for attack speed and movement speed unstoppable. She will also give you 10% attack speed. Honestly, I find Mercenaries to deal almost 0 damage, especially later on. But even early on, so I mean, these buffs are just kind of irrelevant for them. Kind of useless. She'll give you even more attack speed. I use this for leveling on Barb. And she will also make enemies deal reduced damage when she uses Bloodthirst. If this was a lower cooldown than 22 seconds, this would be amazing. I would probably use that, but no. Whirlwind now, extra bleeding damage and physical, as it pulls enemies in and gains 60% size. So kind of similar to what I was running here. Whirlwind pulling enemies together, but I have no size. So this is actually not bad for some builds, I guess. And next up, we got the Shockwave for knocking enemies down. And her skill, when you have her active basic attack, it gives her 20% crit chance. Irrelevant again. There's no difference there damage. When she deals damage to an enemy, she has a chance to knock them down. Pretty good, 30%, not too sure. And here, if you get CC'd, she will jump instead on the enemy, and she will knock down surrounding enemies for 2 seconds on impact. Earth Breaker, extra damage, knocking down again repeatedly. Interesting stuff. You do increase damage to enemies afflicted by any Varyana's CC effect, so not too bad. 15% X, not bad, but right here, you're gonna see it in a bit, much stronger. Dismembering damaged enemies by Varyana Earthbreaker are left exposed, causing your next attack against them within 3 seconds to be guaranteed overpower. Now, there is something called the true critical chance and true overpower. I thought this is the case. True means that anything can overpower, even thorns. There is a way how to trigger that. There is a rune that makes your attacks crit chance, or yeah, crit chance, crit strike, and overpower. That works for thorns, but this one does not, sadly, because I would be using that on Spiritborn, for example. Next up, Ancient Harpoons, pulling mobs in and stunning them for 2 seconds. This is a great ability. Again, 17 seconds is too long. So I usually use her as a enlisted mercenary just for harpoons. Then she has like slowing enemies, and during this time you gain lucky hit against those targets, 30%. Multi, that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge. Ancient Harpoons travel for farther and reduce enemies impairment resistant by 50%. I guess this is for PvP. Not really sure how this affects in PvE. But how it looks with enlistment, endless reinforcement, pick harpoons, and here you pick a skill where you want to activate her skill. So that's pretty cool how you can utilize these. And Raheir probably seems to be the best because this guy has Valiance, whatever. When he would be damaged for at least 15% of your current life at once, he comes to your 8 to negate damage and knock down close enemies for 2 seconds, giving you unstoppable. A good skill, 30-second cooldown. There are ways to lower it in here, but still. Next up is Shield Charge for damage, but he also taunts the enemies. And if you use him actively, his basic attacks will fortify you for 5% of max life. This is actually pretty good. I use this for actually pretty good. Next up, we get armor increase from his guard, which is pretty good. Slow surrounding enemies by 40%, amazing as well. Like guaranteed slow around him. Hello. Provoke, giving you damage reduction up to 20%, depending on how many enemies are around you. Pretty good for Citadel because Citadel has quite a lot of enemies even on boss fights. Increase damage to enemies taunted by Raheir. Again, 25-second cooldown here. Insane. I don't know why. Now, when Valiance is triggered, he knocks back close enemies, taunts distant enemies for 4 seconds. I don't like the knockback, but the cooldown of Valiance is reduced by 25%, so that's pretty good. Next up, Crater. This will pull enemies in. Very good skill. I use that as a enlist as well. Very good and stunning them. Now, this is pretty cool for core skill builds. When the Valiance is triggered, your core skills will deal increased damage and cost no resource. 25%, insane. I can see this using on Barb with because core skill increased damage scales really well with Unbridled Rage. And this one costs 100 more Fury. So, but I don't know. Like, you wanna, with Unbridled Rage, usually you go with overpower builds. And this one doesn't really work with overpower builds because you need to spend resource to proc Banished Lord. Reduction cooldown on it as well, 25%. Good stuff. And an upgrade, it will inflict vulnerable on enemies. Not too bad. Now, Ground Slam, this will slow the targets with extra damage as well on them. This one, on the other hand, if you use them actively, will heal you for 5% of the health. Extra resistances. This Mercenary is probably the best way to go, especially early on when you're leveling and going into higher tiers of Torment, because with every Torment, your armor and resistances are reduced by 25% resistances and 250 armor. So he's amazing for this, like honestly, permanent buff right here, amazing. When you use Healing Potion, he taunts enemies around him for 4 seconds. I'm not sure if it works with this one. If you would go, actually no, you don't have enough points for that, never mind. If you could like combine, you know, but probably not. Probably not. Maybe you could go 3 skills though. If you unclicked here, can you do that? No, you cannot. Okay, only 1 tree. Alright, next up we get Bastion. This is probably the strongest of all mercs. So takes a protective position for 5 seconds, redirecting 90% of damage that will be dealt to surrounding allies to himself. And he also grants surrounding allies unstoppable for 1 second. Insane. 30-second cooldown is pretty huge because this upgrade right here, oh my god. So enemies afflicted by Ground Slam take increased damage and it makes you deal more damage as well by yourself. Wow, this is crazy. Another upgrade reduces its cooldown, but it only heals you, nothing too crazy. Another ability is Shield Throw. I like this ability, pretty cool idea. Bounces between 3 targets. Cannot be bounced 2 times. Another cool reduction for Valiance. When it's triggered, he also casts a Ground Slam and Shield Throw. So actually a lot of abilities here from him when he triggers Valiance. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Shield Throw consecrates enemies for 6 seconds. Directly damaging because your enemy heals you once per target. Very good actually for sustain. Not too shabby. I might try him in Citadel because he needs some sustain there. But yeah, I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long because this was quite a longer video. I was debating whether to do this in in 2 videos, but I just combined it. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch if you're interested. I got lots more videos and guides and builds incoming for you. So October 4th, you will be seeing these videos. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, peace.